Hey guys, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. This video is going to be a full face get ready with me. It's a shop my stash video, all drugstore. So if you're new here, shop my stash means I'm just using things that I already have, things that aren't brand new in my collection, many times things that are a little bit older in my collection, stuff that hasn't been used in a while, and really just trying to stay in tune with those things and appreciate the fact that you got some good stuff and you don't always need to go out and buy more. A shop my stash video is never something that I really schedule, look down at a list and say, oh, it's time for that again. I just go by feel. I feel like I need to do one and it's time. Also, I wore the wrong bra with this top, so it's probably going to be peeking out the entire video. Just warning. So for a primer, I found this a while back when I was doing kind of a declutter, going through reorganizing a little bit. I found this Chill Out Soothing Primer from Milani in my drawer, and I just thought, oh, I don't really remember what kind of experience I've had with this product, so I wanted to use it. It has kind of like a silicone-y look. Ooh, it feels cool. Is it cool on the face? Sometimes there are just so many products you can forget what kind of experience you've had with this or that. Okay, it feels mildly cooling. And it didn't really have the same slip across the skin that a lot of silicone primers do. And they say it is silicone free actually. So it just kind of had that appearance of like that classic Smashbox primer that just sort of feels like silk all over the skin. This says wild oat extract and ceramides. It's supposed to blur imperfections. Right now I can't really see that, but sometimes with a primer you don't really see what it's doing until the foundation goes on top. I need to dampen my beauty blender. I'll be right back. Got that done. Here's what I'm going to use it with. The e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. It's the color correcting full coverage natural finish plus collagen, peptides, and niacinamide. It has SPF 30 and I wear it in light 210N. I have enjoyed this product. It's a good one. I just haven't used it in a while. So you always gotta watch out when you're using a pump product that you haven't used in a while because things can just spurt off in all directions. If you're wearing black leggings, you just gotta watch out. This one's saying, it's been a while, Em. We now have something resembling a decent pump, even though it came out in a bunch of spurts. In fact, I probably have more than I need, so I'm going to need to really watch that as I dab it on. Coverage on this product is really impressive. It's not just like tinted moisturizer status. Thinking back to when I originally reviewed this product, I think one of the takeaways was the fact that this was very foundation-like, whereas like IT Cosmetics CC Cream kind of feels like it incorporates more moisture and that it can be more of like a one and done step, but this one feels more like just the foundation step, but it does have really good coverage. And I remember when this came out, I felt like e.l.f. was really needing an all-over coverage product. And still to this day, they really haven't done a lot outside of this for foundations. They have the one in kind of the frosted glass jar. Is it Flawless Finish? I'm not even sure. But for the longest time, that was kind of it. And then they came out with this. And they also have the powder foundation as well. But I'm just getting around all those areas where I know product likes to collect or look a little heavy, but the coverage is just incredible. I've got a handful of things that are fuller coverage than this still, but it's pretty darn close to full coverage. And just a really pretty shade match too. Happy to be using that again. For concealer, I grabbed out my Catrice True Skin. This is the High Cover Concealer, Hyaluronic Acid Waterproof. I wear it in the shade Cool Cashmere. Somebody was asking me recently about Catrice foundations and if I prefer the True Skin one or the HD liquid coverage one, and they're both really good. They both give a really pretty look to the skin. The HD liquid coverage is just more for those who really want to stay matte, who might have like an oil control issue. It's so thin, like it doesn't feel like a lot of makeup, but it has awesome coverage. But then the True Skin has a little more like moisture content to it, but still looks really beautiful on the skin. And this is part of that True Skin range. My shade is a little light, but it's working. Just just blending with my little brush around here because I kind of got some product right up in there. This was a product I really just wanted to refresh my memory about because I just hadn't used it in a while. And I feel like the coverage is really pretty. Granted, you got to think about how much coverage that e.l.f. product gave us underneath and how that can really change what your concealer is doing. Your concealer does not have to do as much work if you've got a full coverage base product on. But the pairing of the two is looking really good. The under eye does not look dry in the least, but it does seem to be completely covered. It's just unfortunate that Catrice can't be on Ulta's website anymore. Like, that really made it convenient. Now the best place to find the full range is just the Catrice website, but that is a good concealer. That really looks nice up on the under eye area. Did good with redness too. For powders, I pulled out a couple of the things that I saw on that survey I did. Remember when I asked about your drugstore hidden gems, your favorite underrated drugstore products? A couple things that were mentioned. This NYX, or this e.l.f. under eye setting powder, like this little loose setting powder that they make, and then also the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. I thought I'd use both of these, so specifically this e.l.f. one on the under eye area. I'm just trying to set here. I do definitely feel like the under eye is set now. I've really just had this sitting around for so long. I feel like it's barely been used. It does seem to kind of have a smoothing effect. I'm doing it on just the whole T-zone, because sometimes I can really tell when something goes around my nose, like what it's doing for pores and whatnot. It seems like a real mattification has taken place, but I almost feel like I can see this little like shadow a little more once I put that on. Or maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at, I don't know. What is it about hazelnut creamer, y'all? It's so good. I come away from the e.l.f. under eye setting powder feeling like, all right, it's okay. I'm not exactly wowed, but let's do some of the Can't Stop, Won't Stop all over. Man, I feel like I'm gonna have amazing staying power today if I really deliberately set all over with some powder, and I've got that e.l.f. Camo CC cream underneath. Oh, we found out who the girls' teachers are for the upcoming year. Biddy is getting the same teacher Belle had for kindergarten, so that's great. Even though kindergarten was a lot of remote learning, all of the work that she was assigned to do was coming through a teacher at the school district, you know? And I just loved her. I thought she was great to just be going back and forth with, and I just appreciated everything that she had to do during that year that was so different because of the pandemic. And I'm just really excited for Biddy to be in person with her this year. And then Belle's gonna be a big second grader this year. What the heck? They're gonna actually be in the same building, which will be nice for like pickups and drop-offs, you know? So I'm looking really matte. I'm looking very, very even. That powder, I really like that Can't Stop, Won't Stop all over. It gave me just that added bit of additional evenness because I applied it really lightly, but the skin just looks really good. Now I'm gonna come in with 3 cream steps for the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight, actually. One is this Wet n Wild dual-ended contour stick. I've been singing the praises of like the little Mega Glow stick. Let me show you. This one here, Where's Walnut? I've been talking about that one a lot lately. But I see this floating around in my drawer and I'm like, you know, maybe this one needs to be investigated. I wonder if it's the same kind of formula because I find Where's Walnut very easy to work with. And this is in the shade Medium Tan. All right. Okay, fairly good swipe on there. Always a little hesitant at the first swipe of a cream bronzer you either aren't familiar with or forgot about. The other end, I don't know that I'll dive into that today, but it's a lighter end and that might have been better earlier on in the process, you know, on the under eye area. I'm gonna grab my Sephora 56 and just swirl over this. Blending pretty easy and the tone seems good. I don't know, it might seem a little bit drier than Where's Walnut. I definitely wouldn't say it's any better than that. It's a similar experience, if not a little bit drier. She gave me some natural looking bronze, so that's good. We're moving on to cream blush. I have this Milani Cheek Kiss blush in the Berry Smooch shade. This particular shade was sent to me in a little PR bundle. Prior to this, I had had a more nude color of this product, and I thought it was okay, but I wasn't like completely enamored by it. So I thought, let's try the berry shade and just see how that ends up going. So I'm going to squirt some out onto my hand. With blushes of this consistency, I like to sort of smooth it around into a larger surface area so my brush has something it can pick up evenly. You know what I'm saying? It can dab right in. All right, we're going kind of back and forth because I got quite a bit on. Okay, I'm like just kind of trying to not let it sit on there too long. I'm working a little bit quickly because I don't want what I just dabbed over here to like set in too fast without being blended. But as I do that, I can tell this is a really pretty blush. Really pretty. I'm going to pick up a little bit of what's still sitting on my hand. That's nice. I do feel like it's giving me some pigmented color without breaking down the product we already applied to the skin. Letting it come up really high, almost into that under eye area. It feels almost like a little bit of a just got some sun type of shade, you know? Like a little bit of a sunburn maybe. That's really fresh, you know? And I think at this point in the makeup, we needed a product that wasn't quite so flat and matte. I'm dabbing ever so slightly a little bit more. She doesn't know when to quit. Hey, I just like it. It's making me happy. And is it hurting anyone else? I don't think so. With powder blushes, it's easier to like go back at the end and be like, okay, I just want to add a little bit more. You might not always be led to do that with a cream blush, so I really try to get it where I want it. For highlight, I grabbed out my Mega Glow Hello Halo. It's in the shade Halo Goodbye. It's just a really light pearly shade, maybe just a hint of pinky glow. And I'm gonna do sort of the same idea here. Just get some swiped off on my hand. And you know, Wet n Wild has some really good highlighters. They have the cream stick from the Mega Glow line, the same line that makes the Where's Walnut. That's really pretty. So that's a great stick highlight. They've got this one, which is a really pretty liquid. They have a loose powder highlight that I recall being very profoundly brightening. And then they've also got some pressed highlights too. They've really got it going on. This is pretty, by the way. Look at this natural little sheen. I'm adding just a little bit more to my hand. The product isn't a real thick cream. It's actually quite thin. It would probably be really easy to manage just getting some off on your finger and like dabbing it on, but I'm taking the brush approach today. There's that glow. Love it. I really like the way that looks alongside the blush. So I feel like the complexion came together really well. Like, I think things are looking fresh now, but at the same time, really, really covered. I feel like I've been playing with a lot of lighter stuff lately, and this Camo CC cream just felt like a lot. Now I'm going to move on to brows, and I grabbed out another e.l.f. thing. This is my bite-sized brow palette in dark brown. Definitely hadn't reached for any brow product this style, you know, something different than a pencil in a while. So I'm going to go into the waxy part here. Hopefully it's still waxy. I'm dirtying it up, I know. But I go into that and you just get it going in your brows, and then that powder will have something to cling to because these are all powders over here. Well, except that one darker wax. I'm sorry. 2 waxes, 2 powders. I'm just going through with a little bit of the lighter or the clear wax. And this is just e.l.f.'s own Duo brow brush. If you need something like that, it works just fine. It's got a little spoolie at the other end. I think I'm going to do a little bit of the deep wax as well. And I like the way that works. It has been so long since I've gone in with a brush to my brow area. Wow, that could be about it, you know? That dark wax did well. So I was taking the girls to and from their cheerleading practice yesterday, and we have the Sirius XM radio. I got some kind of station on my lineup called The Blend, I think it is. It's just all kinds of stuff. Some of it's like the stuff you'll hear at the dentist's office, and just lots of variety. And Bonnie Raitt's Something to Talk About. I was reminded how much I freaking love that song. I actually believe I sang that in Nashville doing karaoke years ago, before the kids. Like, I love that song, and I don't have it on, like, my iTunes. It's not in my songs, so I gotta get that one. And then you know what other song I just love hearing? Brown Eyed Girl. That one came on too. I just like the vibe of that song. Okay, so I went through those brows with just the waxes. First I did the clear wax, forgetting that we had a dark wax, and I was thinking I was gonna pop powder on top, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do a little bit of one of these powders just in a couple areas. But the wax really did the job easily. Plus, we've got hold with that. I noticed, by the way, on e.l.f.'s website, they're doing another back to school kit, but I don't think it's all custom like last year's was. I loved how last time you could kind of plug in what shades and different stuff that you wanted, and this time it's not that way, so I don't know that I'm gonna bother doing anything on it, but I'm happy with those brows. And I can use my little spoolie to fluff them a bit. Nice. Next up, friends, I chose a quad for my eye look today, and it's going to be this one from e.l.f. Do I have just a ton of... well, I got a decent amount of e.l.f. in this video. It's not, I don't think it's too much e.l.f. Bite-sized eyeshadow palette in the Carnival Candy shade. What this is a mix of 3 mattes, and then this deep blue does have some shimmer in it. So I just thought it'd be fun to play with. I hadn't used it in a while. We're going to pull out a little Milani eyeshadow primer and just go to town. Is anyone else getting a little sad that summer's almost over? We have like 1 more week after this of summer break, and then school's back in session. And I don't know why, but it's just like, just marking the fact that my kids are now another year into it. The start of a new school year is almost more impactful to me than a child's birthday in terms of just the progression forward in life, you know, like it almost makes me a little more emotional when they go off to a new year of school than if they just hit that birthday that makes them 1 year older. You know what I mean? I'm still sad first grade's over for Belle because she loved her teacher so much. Anyway, moving on to this. We're gonna take this shade and put it in our crease. Is anyone shocked? No. Okay, so it looks kind of rich, actually. Got a little more intensity to it than a lot of shades I might just start out in the crease with, but it's in the ballpark. So we're gonna let that kind of sheer out. These little bite-sized palettes, they do have the intensity. Pretty. I think this was one of, if not the first one I got. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about a good show on Netflix. Is it Netflix? Wait, no, is it Hulu? Hulu or Netflix? You have to Google that. Only Murders in the Building. I think it's Hulu. It's got Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez in it. Even got some Jane Lynch coming in there at one point. Bub first heard about it and he was like, I think we should watch this. This sounds kind of funny. And it is funny, but it's kind of like also intriguing slash heartwarming. I like that ensemble cast a lot. We've really enjoyed it. And now it's coming out with like new episodes once a week, so we now have to wait for the new to come out. But you can still binge through an entire like season of it if you want to. Okay, so I've got that first shade laid in there. I think I'll deepen it up with the same brush. Why did I go putting that away? I'm gonna deepen it up with this really nice deep rust. Ooh, that's nice. Look at that. That is so pretty. Loving the way those shades are merging, just kind of a sunset eye. We had the weirdest looking sky last night, a peachy, milky looking sky around the time of sunset, but the whole sky seemed like brighter. Just the placement of the clouds or something bouncing off the sun, it seemed so strange, and like the animals were acting strange. Like we had a baby deer all alone. There had been a duo of little babies. They're always with a bigger deer, a mama deer, usually going through our backyard. This time only one of the babies like running through the front yard and just seeming like looking around like, where is my family? What do I do about that? And Bub's like, you don't know that it's that deer? I'm like, it is. I think we were maybe on the outskirts of a thunderstorm or something, but the sky just looks so funny for that time of day. And I feel like the animals were reacting to it. That's my point. I think I've done enough merging and buffing. It'll merge and buff. But we do have this cream here. I should have worked with that a little bit. Now that I'm kind of done with the whole crease aspect, I can add some of that. All right. Smoothing. Ooh, even more smooth and nice. Yes. Now we're going to go in and use some of this blue. This does have shimmer. And I'm just taking my flat brush. Yes, the blue tank top was by design. No, the sports bra was not. It's just so comfy. And I know I'm going to be going on like a 90-degree walk soon, so just bear with me. That's pretty. I remember I went through a little phase of really enjoying navy eyeshadow for a time. We were back in the apartment. I remember getting a set from Smashbox. This was in the time when they were really trying to come out with different products geared toward your eye color. And Smashbox put out like great little trios, and for brown eyes they incorporated navy. And I used a good amount of like deep navy shadow and I thought it looked pretty darn good. This shade is kind of reminding me of the blue in the Too Faced palette, that new one. It's got a little sheerness to it. It's not like 100% full coverage blue, and it's not super dark either. Like you can definitely tell that's blue, right? Sometimes the navies get a little murky, but I'm getting it all the way up into the crease. And then I can take like this little small pointed brush and we go back into that reddish color, kind of swirl over the merge of the blue and the other crease shades. You might not think of all these shades really going together necessarily, but they do get it done. See, look, it almost looks a little plummy now. Of course, you know, we've taken a reddish color, we've mixed it with blue. How about that? That actually blended so nicely. I thought I was going to have more of a challenge with that, but it looks super pretty. I almost want to take just a tinge more of that kind of caramel color and just come up. I'm digging that. And then I still kind of have an unaddressed area right in here, which I might just take a little of the light shade. Another thing, if I have any cheerleading fans who, you know, are still like missing cheerleading, it's been this many years and you still miss cheerleading, or you're just kind of a cheerleading fan, you keep up with it, there's a podcast called Spill the Cheer, and that guy has interviewed a lot of the major players in cheerleading, in college cheerleading. That's the main focus, and that's kind of what interests me most, is college level. Just some really eye-opening stuff. I've enjoyed listening to those so much. On the under eye area, I don't know. Do I even want to mess with it? I kind of feel like I just want to go with this. This is so pretty. It is like the sinking sun, you know? It's when things get dark around the horizon, but there's still that little drift out. That's pretty. Knowing when to stop, she can do that, I guess. I'm not going to interfere with any liner either, but I am going to do a little lash combo here. I wanted to use this CoverGirl Lash Blast Amplify primer. This came into the mix during that video where I took your tips on drugstore hidden gems, and someone was like, this is so good, it can even make Great Lash work, and I literally used it with Great Lash and it did make Great Lash quite a bit better. But I thought I'd use it just alongside another mascara I hadn't used in a while, this Sky High Lash Sensational Cosmic Black. So we're going to try that duo today. How does that sound, friends? So yeah, this brush is just like Lash Blast. And you got to look kind of closely, but you will see that like one coat really is getting some on there. Then I'm going to pop over and do the other eye. You know, the main reason why I have a makeup headband on today is because my hair really needed to be washed last night and it wasn't. Your girl needs some dry shampoo up in here today. Or what really works if your hair is super fine like mine, just baby powder. The cornstarch baby powder. Use that. Okay, got my primer on, and let's go in with this. This has been just kind of an average mascara for me. Remember when just the regular Sky High took off big time, like because of TikTok and blah blah blah? That one never really wowed the pants off of me. This is doing a lot better with that primer. Length is really nice. Looky there. Don't mind if I do. Is this CoverGirl primer the key to unlocking all mascaras? Look what we've got going on here so far. I'm impressed. I'm even coming back over here to add more, and it's like taking it. It's accepting it. That's kind of the fun thing about mascara primers. You never know like what two mascaras are going to be a great match. That's my idea of a series that would excite me. It's like The Bachelor, but with lash primer. And so this is the one, and then all the women on the show are the mascaras, and they're all trying to figure out who's a good match. Sorry if I just lost anyone there. Now we'll see how well the curl holds and stuff, but I would have to say that was a pretty successful combo. I do want to put a little mascara on the lower lashes. Like that's really all I think I want to do. I'm using Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water because I know I'm going to sweat today. It just makes sense to have a little something on those lashes. Then lips. What did I grab? This is from Flower Beauty, and it's a double-ended lip product in the shade Honey Nude. It's one of their mix and matte lip duos. So it's got the lipstick twist up here, and it looks really pretty. It seemed like a shade that I thought would appeal to a lot of y'all. Kind of pillow talky, you know? But then you have a gloss with a little shimmer that you can choose to put on top of this or not. I just thought maybe this would be a pretty look alongside that blue eye. The gloss is not a real wet gloss. Like, you really feel the shimmer kind of like more moussey. But it really changes the finish of that lipstick and makes it look more nude, don't you think? And alas, I feel I want a little more blush at the end here. I don't really want to go in with a liquid. My go-to, Wet n Wild Mellow Wine. We're just going to add a little more of this. See, blush always looks like a lot when you're putting it on and you haven't done the rest of your face. But by the time the rest of your face gets done, tell me you're not wanting a little bit more. Oh, I love that shade. Although a dusty peachy blush could have also been really pretty, because look what's coming out of that eye look a little bit. But also matte blushes can be kind of perfecting when you come in at the end with them. I've talked about this before, but you get them kind of around the sides of your nose and they're matte, you know, and they almost act like mattifying powder a bit. All right, so that, my friends, is my look today. My Shop My Stash all drugstore. Sometimes you just want to do a drugstore, Shop My Stash. And wow, what were some of the best finds? I'm really kind of digging the combo of these mascaras. I hope the curl holds well today. I kind of reinforced it just a little bit by gently blinking down on my finger, and I got it even more upturned, but the length is pretty amazing. So I like the way those two built together. I liked rediscovering my e.l.f. Camo CC cream, and this powder impressed me quite a bit also. Like, just taking that all over, it really made the look seem more perfected. Even though this did a lot, this just did a little bit more, and powders can do that sometimes. And this quad, like, I found that look to be very satisfying. You might wonder, given the fact that we don't just have a full gradient of one shade in here, you might think that's going to be a hard one to work with, but it was actually quite easy. And I adore what happened in the crease when the blue kind of blended up in with the rest. I see one spot I need to blend a little more. Right here. But yeah, I'm pleased with the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I had a great time. And yeah, I will see you very soon in my next video. I love you. Bye.